Everybody, Joe Chacho here. Happy Friday. Today I kind of want to take a twist to what we talk about and do kind of like a combination. Yesterday we talked about following up with clients to ensure that you don't lose this. What I want to do today is kind of like be a little bit more creative and think about some of the things we can do when we go into a house, as we talked about last week, how we're going to go there to talk about either a Medicare or an accidental program, mortgage protection, final expense, additional life insurance. I feel that we've got to be more prepared when we go into a house to talk about different things instead of just one thing. Excuse me. So I did a program for a gentleman the latter part of last year, matter of fact, in December of last year, and I did him a combination of a living benefit term with a No-Lapse universal, and he was a 41-year-old, very, very nice gentleman, and he said, Joe, this is my situation. I've got two children, 9 and 13, and I want to make sure they're protected if something happens to me, but I need to have a little bit more coverage now, but you don't want to pay that high premium forever because when I get older, my house will probably be paid off. I'm working on a plan to get rid of all my credit cards. So we sat down and we talked about it, and we worked out a little program that if he was to get a program on a life insurance term product to give him the bulk of what he needed, it's kind of what I like. If it goes away in 25 years, I want to have at least a little something to take care of my funeral and maybe any credit cards that I may have left over. So we went back and forth and decided what was best for him, what would fit into his budget. Because a lot of times what we do is that we look at these big programs and we're going to throw out these high numbers. I'm kind of like a guy, client you're dealing with. I sometimes tell them, what do you want? Do you want, good morning, do you want 500,000 or do you want something that you can afford on a monthly basis? Because the whole process for us doing this here is to have you have coverage on the premiums that you feel comfortable. I don't mind when high premiums. Okay, brother, have a good day. I don't mind showing high premiums, but we got to sit and think about it. Is that high premiums mean high commission? Not that they're going to cancel or anything, but yet you want to make them feel comfortable making those payments. So what we did is that I showed him a term 25. Because he said that's probably all he would need it for until he was 66 years old. And we got him with living benefits. I showed him one for $500,000, $600,000, and $750,000. And I said, okay, which one do I give him? So I ran some different analysis. Transamerica came up with his age bracket. His health was the best view for him. I said, okay, let's talk about. And we went and did a No-Lapse UL with Sagicor for $50,000. So he's thinking, he said, Joe, I don't want to spend too much money. And he'd already told me he said, I want to spend about $100 a month. So I said, okay. And in my mind, I was saying I didn't know if 100 would fit. So what I did was that I did the one for $500,000, $600,000, and $750,000. And I showed it to him, and I said, what we're going to do now is that we're going to find out which one you feel comfortable with. We did some stuff on his kid's age, them going to college, them doing this, them doing that there. If he passed away, him buying a car, him setting them up for their future as a responsible parent would do. So to make a long story short, he ended up getting one from Transamerica for $78 a month. For $600,000, kind of in between, and then he got the one with Sagicor for $43 a month. So his total payments are $122 a month. He said, Joe, he says, I know I told you 100, yet I like the benefits. I like that living benefit program because I told him that they've got old life insurance, and now this is the new way of doing life insurance with the living benefits. So I said, you know something, if you were to get sick, have a heart attack, you would be in a car accident, you're paralyzed, and you not do 2 out of 6 daily activities, they're going to give you X amount of dollars based on the severity of what has happened to you. So I said, you can get a little bit of money out of that 600 if something happens. You pass away, then your children get the balance. But I said the nice part about it is that we've got you protected for 25 years. Your kids, they'll be gone. Your credit cards will be gone. Your costs will be a whole lot lower based on the way you say you live your life. And I said, then we've got the one for 50,000 that's going to last you all the way to 121 years old. Bam, he did it. Now, could I have sold him a straight whole life policy with one of our simplified issue? Yes, I could. The way my mind thinks is that he may be shopping around. He may be saying, man, I can go with another company and get something else. So I sat and I thought, and it's kind of what we do. We're kind of like putting pieces of a puzzle together. So when you're with the client, you're kind of feeling them out on what they want to do if they're shopping around. He said, Joe, I'm not going to do no shopping around because Kevin, a friend of mine who's our mutual friend, told me, he says, you're honest and you're sincere. I'm going to put all my trust in you. So I said, okay. So the reason for 20 years and No-Lapse UL was based on what he wanted, what he needed, and what he could afford. A regular whole life policy at a 41-year-old guy would have cost him an arm and a leg for $50,000. His health was good. Everything with him was good. He was basically in perfect health. So he was an ideal person for these programs here. So here's my thought process to share with you guys. When you're with somebody, kind of take a step back and don't sit and say, well, let me just sell him a $35,000 whole life policy with a carrier. Not that it's the wrong thing to do, but let's kind of step back and let's see if we can be more creative to get them a little bit more coverage, save them a little bit of money, because now when they do this here, now they're going to go talk to their friends, and one friend say, man, why did you get a whole life policy for $25,000? You could have gotten a term that's a lot less expensive. Well, that's so, but when the client tells you that's what they want, so this is why I feel we need to investigate what their needs are, why they want to buy something, and who is going to be involved when they pass away that he's got to take care of. Probably, about 12, 13 years ago, I did one of these here. As a matter of fact, it may have been even that there. Didn't have it to where you can get locked in to age 100. They had what they call like the plain universal life. You'd have to add premiums to it to make it last longer and longer and longer. You have the guaranteed side, you have the non-guaranteed side. So when you go into a house and somebody does have a universal life that is kind of old, what you need to look at, you got the guaranteed side and you got the non-guaranteed side. The non-guaranteed side pays higher interest rate based on the economy. The economy interest rates are going back up, so those numbers are probably going to be more realistic. But those numbers are based on the time of the application policy is. So when you want to do something with a client, you need to get the client on the phone, call up the carrier and say, hello, my name is Joe. I'm with somebody here who's got a policy. They're going to give them their name, their address. They're going to answer all the questions. And your question is going to be is, this program that Ms. Jones has, we see is for $50,000. We see her payments are $47 and change. How long will this policy last for based on the illustrations that you have available to you on her payments and the cost of insurance going up? The company will say, provided she makes the same payments, her policy will last her another 6.2 years. Okay? Now, say, well, my God, pretty good policy. You know, what do I do? Do I want to flip her and give her something else? You can then ask the person on the phone, says, what if we were to increase her payments by $25 a month or $30 a month? How long would that last? They're going to give you a number, 10 years, 12 years. You're also going to find out how much cash value she has in that policy. If she's got cash value in that policy and it's not worthwhile for her to add to it, and you have a company like Sagicor, which is No-Lapse UL, they've got spectacular rates, you may want to take a step back and say, ooh, she's got a couple dollars there. I may be able to do her like a little small annuity. I may be able to do her premium whole life, throwing in something depending on the cash in there. You can start her an actual brand new policy that's going to last her forever with guarantees. When you get older, people want guarantees. When you look at an annuity, people want safety of principles. They want guarantees. They don't want that hard-earned money that they've had just to go down the drain. They don't want to be volatile with the market. They don't want the ups and the downs of the Dow Jones and the S&P. They want what they call slow level increase rises where they feel comfortable. Because you think about it, there's a lot of people back in '08 that lost a lot of money with all the crashes we had, the housing crash, everything crashed. A lot of people had to go back to work. A lot of people had to downsize. So us as professionals, we need to look at people. We need to analyze the entire picture. If you don't know those answers, it's okay. It's a time to learn. Remember, we always want to be students. By asking these questions to these people does not mean you don't know what you're doing. What you're doing is that you're gathering information and you're going to somebody who can help you come with something that is very impressive to them, such as what we did with the gentleman with benefits and the No-Lapse UL. There comes a time when you're sitting in front of a client that you're not going to know what to do. I heard Joe say this. I heard my manager say this here. I heard this on one of the calls Joe had with one of the carriers. What do I do? It's okay if you don't know. It's okay. We've all been there before. Gather the information, find out about their health, find out about their medication, see what they want to spend, what they can afford, who will be the recipients of it, okay? So by doing this here, what you're doing, you're gathering information. So either you call me, manager, or you call the carrier up, okay, somebody in their marketing department. What you're going to do, you're going to be able to draw them a picture to where they can sit and say, yep, this is what I think you should do. And you're going to take a step back and you go, man, I never thought about that before. I never thought about this stuff before until I actually got into it. And the way to get into it is just to do it. The times we got to get out of that comfort zone, you got to go into the faith zone and just try some different things. And when you start doing these different things, when you're speaking with people, you're going to come across with more confidence, and you're going to actually end up making more sales because you're being creative on what you're doing to help people out. I feel very, very strong that your referrals will go up. People are seeing you're not just every day just sell you this here. Gather the information, figure out what's best for them, and come back with a program that's going to help them now and help them later. So, okay, guys, I'll let you go. Make it a great day. I appreciate your hard work. You got any questions on living benefits? The ones that we really have that I work with is Royal Neighbors has one, Transamerica, and Emeritus all have living benefits. So if you need those carriers, get with Jay. He'll sign you up on them. We'll send you all the literature to where you can start learning. And all the best to you. Have a great weekend. And as always, I appreciate your hard work. And call me if you need me. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
The moderator, the conference.